Philly Trojan family, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. It's the top of the morning. I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, we got to talk about Colorado and Oregon. This is a huge matchup this weekend. I think that this matchup, USC should have one that we should be pulling for. And I'm going to explain why. I want to lay it out for you. You guys probably say, hey, Jay, we don't have a dog in the fight. We don't really have any interest. But I think when you look at it from a top 25 perspective, I want to lay it out and explain to you why I think that USC should be pulling for Colorado on several different fronts. You guys know there's several different storylines within this matchup. Both teams come in undefeated, and both teams come in with explosive offense. Both have incredible quarterbacks, incredible quarterback play, guys that can really get the ball down the field. And I think that we're going to see some fireworks. But I do think when you look at this matchup, there is a edge when it comes to one particular team. So let's take a look at this information real quick, and let's lay this out for you. Let's go. So when you look at both teams, man, especially Oregon, man, Oregon is, of course, they're coming with their coach. Dan Lanning came from Georgia last year. He's getting that ball down the field, man. There's no doubt about that. We already know what Bo Nix can do. He's proven himself as one of the best quarterbacks last year. Someone that can spread the ball absolutely down the field. Got a couple guys doing the transfer portal. And I really believe that their team is the more potent team. However, we got a team like Colorado who can absolutely get the ball down the field as well. Shedeur Sanders, a guy that if you give him time, he will slice you up, bottom line. But if you apply the pressure, I believe that that's where the issue comes in with Colorado and the depth that they may have. However, when you look at the storyline of what's really taking place within Colorado and Oregon, one of the things, of course, you guys already know, it's got to come from the coach Dan Lanning, some of the comments that were made in reference to Colorado. And some say, oh, those are true comments. But, of course, Deion took offense to that. Coach Prime took offense to that. Some of the things that they said when Deion first became coach. And I think this is not verbatim, but Coach Lanning said, I'm trying to remember when they affected the conference to that extent. That's not verbatim. But, of course, Deion took offense to that, and it did sound like it was a little bit of shade. However, he might have not been meaning anything by it, but, everybody took it as shade. I even took it as shade. I mean, it was almost a pointless thing to even say that comment. And so you're talking about bulletin board material. Of course, Deion is going to use that because Deion just had a situation where he absolutely had to deal with that. And that situation is Coach Norvell from Colorado State. He took a huge shot at Deion. He said the same thing that Dan Lennon. I mean, that he essentially didn't mean it. It was no harm, but I mean, to even imply or anything that his mama, what his mama taught him to do about wearing sunglasses and basically talking about some of the things with Deion. I mean, I think those were both shots directly at Deion. Now, they could have lost this game easily. We already know that. I mean, that was just Shedeur Sanders came with a miracle throw, miracle plays, and but Colorado State absolutely outplayed Deion and that team, and it's for that reason why it's hard for me to see it. Let me say this. I'm pulling for Deion and Coach Prime for several different reasons. One is they said Lincoln Riley couldn't do it, but you guys already know. As I stated before, I made a video that Lincoln Riley absolutely blended the team and nobody was able to do it. Now we see Coach Prime able to implement the same type of situation. And, they said he couldn't do it, but he's doing it. But however, I think the problem is the same problem as what we had last year, but it's a lot worse. When that's depth. Their first teams, they can hang in there for a little bit. But I believe if you apply pressure, I just don't see Colorado winning this game. But when you look at it from this perspective, why would USC be pulling for Colorado? Here's the main reason why I think USC really needs to, and just USC as a whole, fans and everybody, needs to turn their attention to the top 25. This is the AP top 25. And when you look at these teams, of course, you see it here where Colorado is located on this list. They're at number 19 right now. And then you see number Oregon, number 10. So if everything stands right now, if Colorado was to lose this game, just given the fact that they're playing Oregon, if it's a blowout, you know it's automatic. They're out of the top 25. But you guys already know. History always tells us. I mean, history tells us when you look at the pattern, especially, we've brought you this several different times on several different fronts about the bias that takes place when coming from the Pac-12 perspective. National media already said that they felt like Colorado shouldn't be even in this spot, but they had no choice. You go to TCU, you win that game. Of course, you know, you go and play Nebraska, which is a Big Ten school. Those are two big time schools. Not saying they were highly ranked, but those are two big time schools. And when you go, you beat two teams like that, and of course they had the double overtime with Colorado State. You know, they had no choice but to have them here in the top 25. And now at number 19, my theory and thought process is this: if Colorado were to win this game, you gotta wonder if they hop up. Oregon being at number 10 right now, where would Colorado be? You got to think, okay, if they go to number 10 Oregon, will they make the top 10? I think absolutely they'll make the top 10. How could you not put a team like that goes to Eugene, Oregon, beats the number 10 team in the country? They're already ranked number 19. You got to put a team like that in the top 10. In Oregon, if Oregon were to lose against the number 19 team, they won't fall out of the top 25 at all. They won't fall out. They'll still be there. They'll still be in moving and grooving. They still got plenty of teams on their resume to boost that schedule of plenty of teams on the resume to make it happen to where they will be fine to really go. So Oregon will absolutely, they will stay in the top 10. They wouldn't scoot down too far, man. I would say, if, you know, especially if it was a close game, if it was a 45-41 game, Colorado wins that game, I don't see Oregon really hopping down too much. I mean, look how far Alabama went. I mean, look where Alabama went, and they lost against Texas, but they still kept them pretty close. And we want to hope, given the fact that the Pac-12, you guys remember and know that the Pac-12 has 8 teams in the top 25. Everybody has confirmed this. We've seen Joe Klein. I just seen him yesterday put up a video about we should be talking about the Pac-12 being one of the toughest conference. And you guys already know I've been saying that. And I told you guys this. They need to hold the same standard. I think it was last week I told you guys this, but the same standard that the SEC has when those teams get ranked high within the top 10, top 25. You know, they use that strength of schedule to work for them. They use that absolutely, and I think you cannot be biased to where you just drop a team like Oregon all the way. If they were to lose this game 45-41, drop them all the way out of the top 25. That would be absurd. I think right now it will benefit USC all the way. A USC fan should absolutely be pulling for Colorado to win this game, and not only win it, but, you know, win it by a slight margin. No blowout, of course, like that. I don't think it can happen like that. But USC should be pulling for Colorado to win this game, and it will maintain our strength of schedule. So that means that next week when we go and play a team like Colorado, we will be playing a top 10 team. Now, you know, if they lose this game, I mean, it's a great possibility that we won't even be playing a top 10, a top 25 team. And so that's my thought process. That's my theory with it, man. I want to know what you guys think. You guys can hit me in the comment section, man. I think that, and I'm pulling for Coach Prime, you know, because they did the same thing as what Lincoln Riley did. They told us it couldn't be done. And you guys already know, man, when you're talking about this whole transfer portal, / NIL, this space that we're now in, you guys already know when we talked about, you know, Coach St. Nick, how they all went up to Congress. We told you that this is the very thing that they were trying to block. They were trying to block this overnight success the transfer portal has now. And I told you, certain coaches were going to have to jump on board. You see the Clemson coach, I think he allegedly refuses to use the transfer portal. And as a result, we seeing it's absolutely hurting their team right now. And so I think that right now, the space that the transfer portal space that we're in, I think that it's benefiting teams. And this is me. You guys remember almost a year ago now, I said this is the new reality. This is the new recruiting. No longer do you have to wait to develop players, but you can get players that are already developed and develop players at the same time. And we're starting to see that. Lincoln Riley did it. I stated to you before, Mel Tucker did it at Michigan State. And then Lincoln Riley did it. Now Deion is doing the same thing. And now we're seeing teams that come out of nowhere. Everybody's talking about where all this parity coming from. Where's the parity coming from? We already told you where it was coming from get-go. But people failed to realize it, failed to deny that this was happening. And we already told you, brought the reports up that, there were some that were trying to end this and try to implement rules to stop the success of these teams. Teams are having overnight success, man. So look, you guys hit me in the comment section. Look, I want to know from you guys. Hit me in the comments. Who does it benefit more to win this game? I say Colorado. Absolutely Colorado. I stated the case. Drop those comments in the comment section. Look, you guys already know where you can find me. It's going to be USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. Listen, until later on, don't forget, make sure you get up, get out, and make some things happen. Fight on, fight on, fight on.